Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Ken, and welcome to Casual Coffee with Ken. This is my live weekday chat show where I try to start your morning off on a more positive note with happy, interesting, sometimes even inspiring stories from around the globe. And if it's your first time watching, welcome. You can comment, and I do see the comments in my stream feed window over here, and I can bring those in from time to time. If you are watching for the first time and you're commenting today, please let me know where in the world you are watching from, because I love to know where my audience is. I think that's the best part for me about doing this as opposed to just recording videos, is the interaction with people and getting to meet people from literally all over the planet. So yeah. Again, thank you for joining me. I hope your week is going well. It's Wednesday. This is not a week that's going by fast for me at all. It feels like the days are quite long, which is unusual most of the time. Lately, it seems like the weeks have just been going by in the blink of an eye, and I have no idea where the time went, but not so much this week. I hope your week's going well. What have you guys been up to? What have you been doing to keep yourself entertained during the lockdown? Because, depending on where you live, of course, most of us are being encouraged strongly to stay indoors. So for those of us who are doing that, I'm really interested to know what everybody's doing to keep themselves from going stir crazy and just otherwise occupy their time. Because it's always interesting to see what people do. It's a lot of fun. Oh, good morning, Hodgepodge. Me too, been sick with asthma and trying to watch positive things. Yep. And good morning, Julie. Hi. Stumbled here accidentally, but thought I would say howdy from Citronelle, Alabama. Citronelle, Alabama. I love the name of that, Citronelle. That's fun. That's a really fun name. I like that a lot. I didn't live in Alabama. I lived briefly, about a year, in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And you know what what was really interesting to me, Julie, about my time there? One, the pace of life is so much different in the South from what I'm used to here in Reno, Nevada. But the level of intense feeling about college football there was amazing to me. I mean, one, there's a lot more churches in the South than we have here in Reno. And even more so, there's a lot more, I think, public displays of football fandom everywhere. And it was so strange to me that I was living in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but everyone that I knew there were Alabama football fans. You would see Roll Tide paraphernalia like everywhere, just these big flags almost just draped over awnings and on porches and things. It was really weird because, I mean, we love our football here. We love the Wolfpack in Reno, but nothing like you guys love your Alabama Roll Tide. Chattanooga's 45 minutes from Hodgepodge. Okay, so very close to you. And Julie says, immersing myself in paranormal stuff for fun. I am from Indiana originally. Yes, it's very different here. Indiana. Nice. Very nice. Julie says, everywhere. I assume you're talking to the football fandom. Yeah. Noticed it. And Julie's all, I don't even like football. Oh. Hi, Dad. My dad's watching. Hello. That's cool. Oh my gosh. That's fun because Dad's not about Facebook. He and Mom have pretty much kept off Facebook, but I think they just joined because of the whole pandemic thing, and it really is, unfortunately, one of the best ways to keep in touch with people. I love that. I don't even like football. I'm not a sports person either, quite honestly. My wife and I follow the Olympics, so no sports for us this year, as it turns out. But pretty pretty good call, I think, to postpone it a year. Of Paranormal and L.A. Marzulli. I am not familiar with L.A. Marzulli, but let me know what that is because it sounds interesting. Julie's all, hi, Ken's dad. Well, this is fun. We have a really fun, this is a nice group of people today. Thank you all for joining. I'm going to say that this is in part because this is the first time that I've simulcast the live stream onto my Twitter feed. So I'm going to get, well, no, because you guys are commenting over on YouTube. So this is just a sudden influx of YouTube viewers. That's fun. Okay, that's awesome. Used to love Art Bell. Oh, wow. Art Bell. I haven't thought of him in so long. I used to have this really boring graveyard shift job at a now defunct airline called Reno Air. And I would listen to Art Bell on the, they had a little radio in there, and I would listen to Art Bell during my graveyard shift. Because, yeah, he was interesting. And Hodgepodge says, I got off Facebook. And Julie agrees, yeah, a lot of people have. And I totally get that. It's kind of frustrating that that's, in a lot of ways, the default way for all of us to stay connected, because there were a lot of problems with the platform. But it kind of is what it is. Okay, so let's kind of jump in here to the first story of the day. And good morning, Sean. So glad to see you here. So this first story definitely falls under the category of strange but true, and it's quite a treat. I hope you'll enjoy it as well. So there is a winery in Maryland that, as you might expect, is not doing particularly well now with the new rules on essential versus non-essential businesses being open. So they've changed things up a little bit. You can still get wine, and they will deliver it to you in the parking lot via a very unique mechanism, being a dog. They deliver it to you via dog. So Soda is the name of the dog. Wonderful name. Love it. He is he's a 75-pound brindle boxer named Soda Pup. And he's a hit. So basically, you can order your wine online, I believe, and then when you pull up and you park in their parking lot, they will send the wine out to you in a special, like a harness or a backpack, a carrier on the dog. And they go to great lengths to make sure the dog is taken care of. Soda Pup can only carry out 2 bottles of wine at a time, and he gets lots of breaks. He's a fixture, I guess, at the Stonehouse Urban Winery there, and just recently was pressed into service for wine delivery duties. And everyone loves them. They get people just coming there just to meet Soda, just to watch him do the delivery. People will bring their kids so they can watch, from the car, uh, watch the dog come out and deliver the wine. So that's that is such an inventive way to go about it. I mean, there are any number of things they could have done to make sure that the customers get their orders in a manner befitting appropriate social distancing, but to use the dog. And how smart is the dog that they're able to do that? That he knows to just go to the car, wait there, let the people take the wine bottles out of his harness, and then go back. That's fantastic. I love it. And the owner of the winery is trying to be optimistic about everything. There is a wine festival, I guess, coming up in the fall, and since they don't have any really in-person customers in their dining room, they have a lot more time to actually make a lot of wine, and so they're making a lot of wine in anticipation of being able to get into this wine festival in the fall. So if you're interested, after the show, I'll post in the description down below the link. If there is a link, if they have a link to their website, but I'll at least post the name and the address there of the winery. If you happen to be in Hagerstown, Maryland, you can stop by and give them your patronage. I thought that was just fun. That was just a cute little story, a very creative way to go about things. Julie's, oh, that's a great story about soda pop. Yeah. And you're right. At least this is helping people appreciate the little things in life. We have long been a culture that prioritizes and rewards the hustle, just getting out there and doing the thing. Rush, 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 go, go, go. Have as many meetings as possible, and you got to be busy. That's where a lot of people for many years have derived their self-worth, is that feeling of busyness. But there's nothing, like you said, Julie, to make you stop and appreciate the little things than being, in some cases, legally forced to slow down. So it's good to look for any silver linings that you can during a situation like this. And I think that's definitely one of them. I agree with you completely, Julie. I think it is helping a lot of people kind of take stock of what they're doing and reevaluating what's important in life. And I guess I should mention the tea I'm drinking, because I usually do that. God slapping will do that. Yeah, I would. Okay, I'll agree with you there. It's definitely interesting. I love it. That's great. I love it. There have been other stories about dogs playing these type of parts. Yeah, there is no shortage of fun news stories like this, and it drives me crazy that it takes someone like me, who's nobody, to create a program that dedicates itself to sharing this kind of stuff. I mean, I recognize that we need to be informed, and local news is sometimes good for that. National news, less so, in my opinion, because they just hit you over the head with the negativity. I think you can watch both of those types of newscasts for about 5 minutes, get everything you need to know, and then just stay away, because you will just lose your sanity, and it can be really depressing. So for me, I do this as much for my own mental health as anything else. Researching positive, fun stories to share with you guys really is what's been keeping me staying. That's funny, Sean, because that's my next topic. So, yeah, I started doing this maybe about 3 weeks ago now. And but the whole idea was just to share, positive stories with people and do it in a live format so that I can enjoy the in and out, the back and forth conversations with the audience members. Um, but I'm not a network TV star, so I haven't gotten a lot of views, and that's fine. Like I said, I'm really doing it as much for my mental health as anything. But now my competition, if you want to call it that, is even more intense. And I don't really look at it as competition because it's not a race, and we need as many people as we can focusing on positive stories. But I probably don't stand a chance in heck of ever competing with John Krasinski from The Office and the Jack Ryan series on Amazon and many other things. Because he started a YouTube channel that's focused on highlighting positive, inspiring news stories. So yeah, his first broadcast brought in over 1.5 million viewers, and his is it's just a straight video. It's not live. There's no interaction, but that's he has star power. He can pull in interesting guests, including actors that he's worked with before. He has a vast Twitter audience to draw on ideas from. So, but it's good. Like I said, people need this right now more than ever. And yeah, there's really no competition. It's just anyone who is taking the time out of whatever they're doing to highlight positivity in this world is okay in my book. So Sean, yes, you should take down that hashtag because I'm sure he's a very nice man, and we really aren't competing for anything. Am I on Twitter? I've been on Twitter under another name for a while. I just recently did a whole rebranding of my YouTube channel here in my Twitter account. For a while, this channel on YouTube was dedicated to me making informational videos about various kinds of chronic illnesses because my wife has Crohn's disease, and we are realizing that we are getting a lot of the same type of questions over and over again about Karina's Crohn's disease from a wide variety of people. So I just started off by making one informational video about what Crohn's disease is. And then that just kind of snowballed, and I ended up doing a whole bunch of them on a wide variety. I think there's 30 in total, 30 different videos I've done on different chronic illnesses and what they are, the treatments available, what it feels like to live with them, kind of thing. And that's what has driven most of the views on my channel since I started it in 2014. But the videos were typically being viewed by people who suffer with those conditions, which is great, but it just wasn't reaching a wider audience, which is really what I was hoping for. So I just recently, when I made this jump into doing live streaming, I decided I was just going to go ahead and rebrand the whole channel. And I still have all the chronic illness videos on this YouTube channel. They're under a playlist called Feel This Pain. And the name of this YouTube channel used to be Don't Punish Pain. So, and I have my marvelous dad to draw on with his running feats. Yes, I do. I do, in fact, have that. Sean says that John is lucky that I am a humble man. Julie says, oh, that's cool. Chronically ill here, MECFS, EDS. There's a video in the playlist on Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and MECFS, I believe, as well. I'll bet that's why you showed up in my feed. Probably that might be the case actually. So yeah, that was a long, drawn out story. Sorry about that. Talking all about myself here, and that's not the point of the channel. All right, so the next inspiring story that I have for you has to do with ventilators. So we all know right now there is a woeful shortage of ventilators in all of our hospitals, really. Generally speaking, as someone who worked for a hospital association for 8 years, the business model of most hospitals, especially the for-profit ones, is to operate as lean as possible. So you don't have a lot of extra equipment on hand, and that includes things like ventilators. That includes things like PPE, or personal protective equipment. They don't like having a lot of extra stuff sitting around. And unfortunately, one of the reasons for that is that it costs money to maintain. For ventilators and for any of that PPE equipment, it has to be inspected. You have to do regular testing to make sure the equipment is in working order. And on some pieces of equipment for hospitals, they're servicing and upgrades to firmware that needs to be done. That's all expensive. And hospitals have a mindset of running as lean as possible. So that's kind of, in a way, a part of why we are where we are with these shortages. They just don't keep extra on hand of much of that kind of equipment. So this story is really cool because it involves something that was done about 5 or 10 years ago that's just now going to come into play, and that's why it's my pick for my story of the day. No, not you. Not you, John. No, this is from MIT. So they are going to publish they're going to publish online free plans for building a cheap emergency ventilator. So the ideal ventilator that you want to have in your hospital would be fully automatic. And these are not that. There was a class project from over 10 years ago at MIT where some students were kind of tasked to come up with a ventilator that could be built with about $100 worth of parts. And then the MIT class was called Medical Device Design, and the assignment was to work with local doctors to design a simple ventilator device that could be built with about $100 worth of parts. So they did it. They met their goal. They were able to actually come up with a concept and working plans to build a fully functional ventilator. And then that was it. That was the end of the assignment. Nothing more happened with it. But considering the urgent need for ventilators right now, they're going to just publish the design so anyone can make them. They can see how they're made. Now, obviously, the downside to this is that it's hand operated. The key part of it is an ambu bag, which is what you can use in place of, doing manual resuscitation, mouth to mouth. You can use an ambu bag to squeeze and force air in and out of a person's lungs. And most hospitals already have those on hand, and they have a lot of them. So they so they're going to publish it, and that's going to be great because people are going to be able to build these and get them to the hospitals that need them the most. It's not the perfect solution, obviously, because if you're on a vent, chances are you're going to be on it for a few days, and you know, having to figure out a rotation amongst your medical staff of people to work an ambu bag 24 hours a day, that's not really the best way to go about things. So yeah, but it is something. Yeah, Julie, you're right. It is something, at least. Absolutely. And I'm very happy to be having coffee and everything with you guys. Although I'm having tea, and it's not one of the fancy teas that I usually drink because I was tired this morning and didn't want to bother with loose leaf tea. So I'm just drinking Perfectly Peach from Bigelow, which is amazing. Tastes very peachy, which is what you want in a peach tea. It's nice that people are working to find these solutions. It is, and it's really fortuitous that something that basically happened 10 years ago is able to be adapted and used today. That's really fun. I love it. It's great. It's these kinds of stories that I like finding because I love the intersection of science and technology and how those things can really just do wonders to improve everyday life for millions of people. It's wonderful. Yeah, this is definitely definitely an area for volunteers. I agree, Dad. Absolutely. Have you ever tried Lipton Lemon Zinger? I have. Yeah, it's a good one. As far as the bagged teas go, our favorites are Bigelow, excuse me, and Stash. Those are our two favorite brands. But yeah, I've had Lipton Zinger, Lemon Zinger before, and it is good. I'm a sucker for anything, um, anything citrusy, sour. I love Sour Patch Kids. Love sour candies, sour gummy belts. Love all those things. Whoever deserves an A. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they passed the class over there at MIT. Absolutely. Okay. All right. This is a good one. And this definitely, I think, falls under. There's two stories today that fall under the heading of kindness matters. Absolutely. And my dad says, Stash licorice is tops. I can't stand licorice. No. No, 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 no. No. I can't stand coconut. I like the flavor of coconut. I can't stand the texture of coconut. I would eat coconut before I would eat or drink anything flavored like black licorice. Sorry. Sorry, Dad. That's all yours. We will never be in competition for that particular resource. It's just never going to happen. So it's all yours. So these next two stories here are really cool, and they definitely come under the heading of kindness matters. Whoops. I'll hit all the wrong buttons. That's why I love live broadcasts. So this first one here is about a trooper in Minnesota who pulled over a doctor for speeding and then decided not to give her a ticket and gave her his N95 medical masks. Now, you might recognize that name because there was quite a run on N95 medical masks because they filter out 95% of airborne particulates. And there was such a run on those that the people that need them the most are doctors and nurses or are amazing angels of medicine don't have enough of these. So there's nothing that this trooper could have done that would have been a larger, a greater act of kindness than this. So he kind of took her to task for speeding, and I think, I'm not sure if it says exactly what he said on here. There's a different article. So he apparently took her to task for speeding because she could have hurt someone by speeding, and if she got into an accident, her being a doctor, she would not have then been around to help other people. And so after he verified her license and everything, called it in, came back up to the window, and instead of handing her a ticket, handed her a package of N95 masks. So, and the Minnesota State Patrol actually addressed it on their Facebook page and said, thank you to Sarash, that's the doctor's name, for her hard work and dedication. Troopers are working hard during the pandemic and are thinking about all the first responders who are caring for Minnesotans during this critical time. So, that's, I mean, he could have just done his job, right? And his job would have been to give her the ticket. But it's awesome that he looked at the larger picture and just did the thing for the greater good. So kudos to that officer. Let's see here. Julie says, my signal in Alabama woods keep dropping out. I will join you again. Much love and love to all beings. Well, thank you, Julie. I really appreciate you staying with us for as long as you could today. So thank you so much. And I'm here usually every weekday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So I hope to see you again. All right. Wow, we're going over a little bit. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to go ahead and keep going because this other story is equally as deserving of your time as I think any of these others have been. So this next one doesn't have anything to do with COVID-19, but it's still extremely inspirational, and it's just a good reminder of what you can do to make a lasting difference in people's lives. It's just amazing to me. So almost a year ago, there was a football coach who did what some people would consider unthinkable. And that is, he reached out literally to a teenager who had a gun in his hand, a shotgun. And you might remember this story. So the coach's name was Lowe. And what had happened was a student who had a shotgun and was going to use it on himself. He was not perpetrating a school shooting or had no plans to do anything other than to take himself out of this world. He talked with the student and was able to convince the student to put the gun down, and then he just gave him the biggest hug that he could. And he is being recognized now for his act of absolute heroism and bravery, and he will receive a Congressional Medal of Honor, Citizen Honor. So these, as the article here from CNN goes into, most of the time Medals of Honor are awarded to members of the military. But they have nominated, in addition to Lowe, 6 other honorees that are citizens that are not part of the military, because they, quote, exemplify the values embodied in the Medal of Honor: courage, sacrifice, commitment, integrity, citizenship, and patriotism. And this happened, Sean, in your neck of the woods, at Park Rose High School in Portland. So Lowe was able to disarm the student, and he saved his life. So I am so glad that people like this coach exist, that they're not afraid to do the thing, you know. And yeah, that's just, and I'm even more excited that he's getting recognized for that, because it's definitely something worthy of recognition in my mind. Yeah, I agree. Very cool. Was a big story around here. Guy's a hero. Yes, he definitely is. I think the term hero gets thrown around a lot, but it definitely applies to Keenan Lowe, who did a truly heroic act that day. Okay, so 2 more quick stories. I'm really going over here. Sorry about that. This is fun. Another, I guess, making lemonade out of lemons situation here. Movie theaters have been really hard hit by this, obviously. Not supposed to be congregating, right? But there's one in Texas that's addressed this in a really unique way. And they've basically revived the concept of the drive-in. So you can get tickets because they only have so much parking lot space allocated for this. And the tickets don't cost anything, but they are selling out as fast as they're being advertised on their website. So what they did is they painted the side of their movie theater, scroll up here to a larger picture, with some high grain white paint, and they just project the movie onto it. They broadcast the audio signal over AM, FM, so you can pick it up in your car. You can listen to the sound in your car. They have opened their restroom facilities for the public, and they've remodeled them slightly so that proper social distancing spaces are maintained inside the restrooms. You can order food and beverages through a specially designed app that they kind of designed on the fly for this purpose. And someone will bring the food out to you and, give it to you in your car. So they start it early enough in the evening that everyone can get home by 10 p.m. because that's the curfew there. And the multiplex is located in Schertz, Texas. And their first weekend, they screened Spider-Man: Homecoming, and it's sold out every night that they've had it there. And so they're going to continue to do it. But I thought that was really cool. So you can see there, that's the projector setup that they have there. That's so neat. I love that. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. Yep. That is just incredible that they even thought to do that. So yeah, they've got this thing dialed in. So you can still go out, watch a movie, get some movie theater popcorn, and everybody knows how important the movie theater popcorn is to the entire experience. So yeah, I think that's a very creative way to go about that. Yes, how neat indeed. I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, it's fun how creative everybody's getting with this. It's, necessity being the mother of invention, but we're seeing a lot of that. And I hope that we'll see other theater chains kind of do the same thing here. That would be fun. And then last but not least, this is just silly, but it was fun because when you think of safety, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? You're thinking about road safety, right? You're driving through an area maybe that has some road work going on. What do you think of? What comes into your mind? First of all, you think of the flaggers, right? The people who are directing traffic through the road work areas, and you're probably thinking of all the different dividers that they have there, including the orange road cones. Well, apparently humans aren't the only ones that are interested in those safety cones and making sure that they're doing their job. Because yeah, there's this guy. Show it to you right about, just waiting for the video to loop now. So, you know, grizzly bears care about safety too. And he's not going to let that safety cone lie down on the job, not on his watch. So this post is everywhere. A fellow named Michael Morrow apparently took this video. Thank you, Michael, for posting this. Thank you for sharing it with the rest of us, because this made my day. It's a safety bear. How can you not smile at that? I think that says it all. Thank you, Hodgepodge. So that's it. We have reached the end of the show, and boy, I have gone way over time. This is supposed to be just a half-hour show, but thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Give that bear a vest, right? No one's going to mess with that bear. No one is going to speed through that work area, because that grizzly bear will not be having it. Thank you very much. So, and thank you very much. I appreciate all of you who joined me this morning. You have a lot of options for what to do with your mornings, so thank you for spending time with me. I hope you liked this. If you did, if you got some value out of it, if you like the concept of a live show focusing on positive interactions and stories, do me a favor. After the show ends, it stays up as a video on my now Twitter page, on my YouTube, on my Facebook, and on my Twitch account. If you would share the video link with your friends, tell them about this guy in Reno, Nevada, who's just doing what he can to help people start their day off on a happy, positive note. I'd appreciate it. If you want to show your support, you can do so. You can find me over on Patreon, Casual Coffee. Any amount helps, and there's some fun rewards there that I have posted for anyone who wants to contribute. And a shout out to my one contributor so far, Trisha. Thank you so much, Trisha. I really do appreciate you, and thank you to all of you. So bye for now, Dad. Thank you, and bye, Hodgepodge. You take care. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and yeah. That's about it. Until next time, I'm Ken McKim. I will see you back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. You take care, and remember, when you can choose to be anything in life, choose to be kind, because kindness matters. All right, take care, everybody.